Some say that before he became the Despoiler, that he secretly plotted the downfall of War Master Horus, and that he did this because the Chaos Gods whispered to him seductively to gain control of the Sons of Horus and mold the Black Legion to his image. Others say that Sprues and Studs is completely full of crap and got incorrect information from his sources. All we know is that he was called Ezekyle Abaddon. Welcome on in, folks, to a very rare review of a Horus Heresy action figure. I mean, come on. When you have the big bad of the future 41st millennia being presented to you, I mean, that is something that is too delicious to resist. So without further ado, let's jump into the review. Alright, let's take a look at this bad boy and see what he has to offer us. So up top, clearly there is a top knot here. And the top knot has a bit of light shading on the tip of it, no highlights whatsoever. As we take a look at Abaddon's face, you get to see him in a obviously screaming position. And the eyes, unfortunately, are screened on a little bit off. You can see that he's staring off in the upper right-hand corner. In the promo pictures, he's actually staring straight ahead. JoyToy has put shading within the wrinkles of Abaddon's face, and there is a fine attention to detail with the lips, the tongue, as well as the teeth that are evident in his very screamy kind of mouth. So let's just take a look at the pauldrons here, and I like to see all these different accoutrements here, which are some studs, spikes, and I'll have to say that it's nice to see some battle damage that is on the armor, which is something that we're not accustomed to seeing on the 40k figures. And there's also highlights on the upper regions here of the Cataphracti armor. I do like this symbol over here, and they made this metallic, and you do get to see a bunch of shading here too, with the dark red transitioning to the light red here. And then opening up the pauldron area, it would appear that this Cataphracti armor is following the new construction of the 40k Terminator suits. And then within the sides over here, you get to see a leather fringe, and this is replicated by a soft plastic material. And while we're at the arm region, let's just take a look at it. Get to see a nice gauntlet here, some battle damage, excellent detail here with this eye area. And let's move on to the center region of this action figure. So there are some pipes. It has been shaded as well as highlighted a light silver. Lots of highlights here at the upper regions of the armor panels. And then in the middle, you can see some detail where the soft armor is located. And moving on to the middle section of Abaddon, he is rocking a very Ultramarines type loincloth area. So you can see on this loincloth, it's got some studs. It's got some weights down here too. More fantastic detail with this eye. I love how it's metallic and it's two different shades. It kind of reminds me of the Eye of Sauron, to be honest. Take a look at the bottom region, and I do love the detail here with the studs on the armor. Plenty of highlighting up top here too. And then lots of battle damage here, over here. You got some scrapes, some dings, and a very pronounced scrape in the armor as well. So this is fantastic attention to detail that I really wish that we see on the 40k action figures. And with the top of the thigh region, there's more studs right here. You have these golden areas that break up the black of the armor that really make this action figure stand out, in my opinion. And as we flip around, take a look at the back of this action figure, and there is a lot of stuff that is going on back here. So unlike the modern Terminator armor, where this area is just vents, the vents are here from the fans, as well as this area, I'm sure, is some sort of generator for the Cataphracti armor. Once again, plenty of attention to detail with some scrapes on Abaddon's butt, and then the gradual tiered armor look over here adds a lot of oomph on this action figure. So let's just take a look at the armaments of Abaddon. The first thing that we're going to take a look at is the Chthonian or Scythonian Power Claw. And the Power Claw is really mean looking, in my opinion. So he's got this very intimidating eye area. Because I don't play Horus Heresy, I'm sure there is a particular name for this icon, please let me know in the comment section. But I do love the transition from this lighter red to the dark red. There's golden bits transitioning to a gunmetal color that we see on the modern bolt rifles for the Primaris. These power claws are really wicked because you can tell how sharp they are. So let's put the body of Abaddon down and take a look at the Bane Strike Combi Bolter. This Combi Bolter is very interesting to me in that looking at this, you can see the modern designs of the bolt guns. However, Games Workshop did a fantastic job of making this really archaic looking. There is this gunmetal color that has been heavily weathered all throughout the body of this bolter, and then there are gold accents here to kind of break up the silver that you find all around. I suppose it would have been slightly nice to see some black casing here. The last thing that we're going to take a look at is the Paragon blade, and this is, I suppose, the equivalent to a modern power sword. And just like with this modern counterpart, there seems to be a transition of color where the darkest region of this blade is actually gunmetal, and then a transition to a light silver color on the edges of this thing, whereas the modern power swords, it is dark gunmetal on the bottom and then transitions to a light silver up top here. And then in the middle of the blade toward the hilt, there is a very nice looking design here, and this thing finishes off with a red handle and gold pommel. So the only other thing that I'm really going to comment on is the power claw itself. So it's really nice that the thumb area has 360 degrees of motion, and that you can move the wicked talons of this claw up and down as well as in, as you can see right here. And the same thing with the fingers over here. You can actually move the claws in, and this is the pivot point for the fingers of this action figure. And I'll have to say, because I am reviewing a Cataphractide Armor Marine for the first time, that the movement here is very fluid. There is no snag in operation whatsoever. The range of motion for the arm about the elbow, it looks like this is the maximum it can curl in, and this is the maximum that you can push out. You can spin the head 360 degrees right here. You can also spin the lower portion right here with the torso to the waist area, 360 degrees. There's no restriction of movement here. Then you can kick out the future War Master's foot really far out like this, and do 360 degrees of rotation about the hip. This is the maximum extension of the knee going this way, and then going back. It's double jointed, so you can kick it out back like that. So we've seen this before in the Terminators. And then there's a nice wobble that you can achieve through the ankle area, and it also has this area for more posing ability. And so that wraps up the review, and it's now time to close it out. Well, Horus Heresy enjoyers, I can totally tell why you really love these action figures. This action figure, I'll admit, is absolutely phenomenal in my opinion. There's just a lot of decorations, adornments, a lot of just these little subtle details that really make the Cataphractide armor jump out on this action figure. It doesn't look like your bland Ultramarines Terminator of the modern, 41st millennia. This has a properly archaic feel, but just these little details just stand out to me. Just like how there's little studs, little spikes, a few armor dents and dings really bring out the character here. So I am extremely impressed with this action figure, and I really wish sometimes that JoyToy would bring this to the 40K action figures, because the level of detail is absolutely phenomenal. Do I recommend this as a must buy? Yeah, absolutely. If you're into Horus Heresy, or you're into the Luna Wolves / the Sons of Horus, you have to have this figure. He is phenomenal, and I can't stop seeing praises about this one. So go ahead and pick this one up. I don't think that you're going to regret it. So folks, if you're interested in picking up this action figure, just click in the link in the description below, where you will be brought to David Toys, where I get all my action figures. The customer service is awesome, and they ship out their stuff pretty quickly to you, so you can look forward to that. And when you are checking out, do not forget to use the code SNS to receive 12% off of your purchase. as we know these action figures are very expensive and you want to keep your money in your own wallet as much as you can. But regardless, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you all in the next one.